as a woman that is starting out in that career to see another woman that has been successful.
BYU's dropping percentage of female faculty causes distress amongst female students.
You don't really realize how serious cancer is until it affects someone you really love.
Thousands of people laced up their running shoes to participate in this year's Cougs Against Cancer run.
Soon-to-be BYU graduates pick up caps, gowns, and other graduation regalia. Welcome to Universe Live. I'm Emmeline Blythe.
And I'm Iori Kennedy. It's Wednesday, March 27th, 2024. We celebrated International Women's Day not long ago, yet Women's Month continues.
Universe Live's Yvette Galvez has more on what we can do for women this month.
Professors from the Global Women's Studies Department tell me there are different ways you can celebrate women in March. You can go to events on campus, and there's action you can personally take.
We talk about how we experience the world in terms
BYU
of
professor
gender
Chrissy
and
Coles-Charles is adjunct faculty in the English department. Currently, she is teaching Intro to Global Women's Studies.
Sometimes we don't highlight specific groups of people. It's fun to have like a time to remind us to do that.
Charles says there are events Global Women's Studies holds to talk about women's issues. Additionally, the International Cinema and other departments on campus are highlighting all women this month. This art exhibit in downtown Provo showcases both Heavenly Mother and Heavenly Father.
There's so many different arenas where women have made a difference that are not known. It's a kind of a time when we can highlight women that have not been historically highlighted or noticed.
Comparative Literature and Scandinavian Studies professor Julie Allen also teaches classes for Global Women's Studies.
Women's stories are everybody's stories. Everybody's got a mother.
She shares what we can do individually to celebrate this month.
We take a moment in March to say, I'm going to learn something about a woman in my ancestry, or a woman in my culture, or a woman in my community, and know something more.
Allen says that there is no need to fear that celebrating women will denigrate men. She encourages to celebrate diversity and learning about others' experiences. There is currently an exhibit on women in nursing in the library, and there will be events not only at BYU but around Provo and Salt Lake City. Reporting for Universe Live on the BYU campus, I'm Yvette Galvez.
Thanks, Yvette.
Professors at BYU are famous for helping students transition from the classroom to the workplace. Mentorship is a strong tradition at BYU, but not all students get mentorship from professors of their gender. Belle Lewis is in studio to tell us how BYU's faculty gender gap influences female students. Belle?
At BYU, female students hold on to a very slim majority. BYU Enrollment Services confirmed that 51% of students on campus are women. The numbers tell a very different story for female professors who make up approximately 35% of BYU teaching staff.
Something that feels true to you.
Junior Addie Erickson changed her major last year. Animation and media arts have one important thing in common. They both have only one female professor.
I honestly didn't meet any of the female faculty.
Addie wants a mentor, but one professor is not enough for her major.
Not enough necessarily for one woman to be there because of the fact that we do need more support and women make up 50% or more of the population.
The School of Humanities released a statement calling on the university to recognize the extra demands placed upon female faculty to do professional housekeeping or emotional labor, particularly in their informal mentoring of students. Human development major Rachel Leifson is inspired by their dedication to career and family, a balance she hopes to have in the future.
So many incredible women who do have really strong family values, but also are so smart.
Addie looks forward to seeing more female mentors in her major. She hopes that more women will go into film with female professors to show them it's possible.
It would be helpful as a woman that is starting out in that career to see another woman that has been successful.
She also calls on BYU to increase the number of female professors.
A little bit more to help us feel like we're actually a part and a key role in the programs.
Activities that you like to do can make you feel that.
Media Relations Manager Todd Hollinghouse confirms that 35% of professors are women. This is down from 2020 when 36% of professors were women. For Universe Live on the campus of Brigham Young University, I'm Belle Lewis.
Thanks, Belle. It certainly seems like women professors help these students as mentors.
Graduation is drawing closer for thousands of BYU students. Future BYU graduates attended the grad fair on campus last week. Hundreds of students passed through to pick up a cap and gown and scope out alumni swag. These students are experiencing some of their last days on BYU campus.
I'm really excited about graduating. I've been looking forward to this for so long. So excited to be outside of the testing center and into the community to apply the values that I learned at BYU to feel like it's coming full circle.
Students like Caitlin Erickson are counting down the days until the commencement ceremony. If you missed the grad fair, don't worry. You can still order a cap and gown online at graduation.byu.edu. The ceremony for students graduating this academic year will take place on April 25th.
BYU's more than 30,000 enrolled students may feel like an overwhelming number to some incoming BYU freshmen. Universe Live's Audrey Hill gives us a deeper look into how first-year mentors play a part in making the new BYU freshmen feel at home.
Every freshman student at BYU is assigned a peer mentor. These mentors aim to answer student questions, give information about resources on campus, and talk about BYU life in general.
First-year mentors are trained upperclassmen that help guide BYU students through their first fall and winter semesters. One such first-year mentor is BYU sophomore Brenna McBride. McBride currently mentors 45 students.
I get to help people know that they're cared for and that because I do really care for each one of my students, and I get so excited anytime I see them.
McBride says she makes an effort to connect with each of her students as often as possible and be their friend through their new college experiences.
It's just really cool getting to be with them and getting to spend time with them and learn from them, because I learn from them just as much as I feel like I teach them or mentor them.
First-year mentors provide students with support in their studies and social life while giving them information about BYU resources.
I think that's one of the coolest things I've learned about BYU is how much they care for their students, because there are so many resources.
Mentor Jillian Bunderson explains that her peer mentor was highly influential in her first year at BYU.
To have someone on the outside to just talk to and kind of discuss the problems I was facing was so beneficial for me.
Bunderson hopes to be the same kind of resource to her students as her mentor was to her.
I'm not their mom. I don't have a certain life plan for them. I just want them to succeed in whatever way they see success to be.
First-year students can find mentor information on the First Year Experience website. Students who wish to become mentors can also find information on this website. On the BYU campus for Universe Live, I'm Audrey Hill.
Cancer touches many people's lives. Many students, faculty, and staff at Brigham Young University are raising money to make a difference. We join Universe Live reporter Candace Contreras at the annual Cougs vs. Cancer 5K.
The rain decided to take a break specifically for this event. Here at the track at Brigham Young University, family, friends, and students gathered for the Cougs Against Cancer event.
This year marks the 29th BYU's Cougs vs. Cancer run. The 5K race honors former BYU president Rexy Lee, who died from lymphoma cancer in 1995.
I was also here for my cousin, Roman Groves.
Female 20 to 29.
He fought through cancer and just came out of it in January. And he was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma.
Ty Jenks has first-hand experience with the profound impact a cancer diagnosis can have on a family.
He was definitely fighting for his life, and fortunately, you don't really realize how serious cancer is until it affects someone you really love.
The race means so much to Jenks and so much to Sydney Blair.
I lost my mom. My stepdaughters lost their mom to cancer, and we have a daughter right now that's fighting Hodgkin's lymphoma.
The two joined more than 1,300 other participants, ranging in ages from 5 to 80 years old. Some ran, others jogged, while some opted to walk the 5K.
What was it like getting past the finish line?
Very easy in this case. It's called old age.
Many runners shared stories of family members who passed from cancer or are currently in remission.
It was so fun to see the huge group here take off from the starting line, and just a great feeling in the stadium.
The 5K run brings people together with similar experiences and provides a way to raise funds to help those who are struggling with cancer.
I hope it gets bigger and bigger, and then we can just raise money for cancer research.
Don't forget to register for next year, which will be the 30th anniversary, an event you don't want to miss. For Universe Live at Brigham Young University, I'm Candace Contreras.
Thank you, Candace. What an amazing turnout for such an important cause. All proceeds from the event support the Simmons Center for Cancer Research.
BYU's Japanese Student Association held its annual Spring Festival, or Harumatsuri, on March 8th. Booths with games and activities are typically found in traditional Japanese festivals. Festivals like this one are common in Japanese culture and popular among students in high school. JSA Club President Yuka Shimoji says a Nintendo Switch Smash Bros. Competition was new this year. Something else new was the Hinamatsuri doll display.
I love seeing guests coming to the festival and enjoying Japanese cultures, and I love that they're having fun.
Shimoji says some of the visitors are new to the festivities here. Others, however, are natives from Japan and can enjoy something familiar. She says students and teachers at BYU work together for weeks to make this festival happen. Shimoji says the Spring Festival is a good place for people who are curious about Japanese culture to experience and learn more about it.
Coming up, the purchase of the restoration properties has people talking.
We get to become stewards over these wonderful historical properties.
Hear more about the stewardship and current reactions shortly.
All I really need is my faith in God, my family, and my spirituality.
We'll show you how Muslims on campus observe their holiest month of Ramadan.
Missionary opportunities are expanding. We'll give you a look into two of the many ways missionaries are currently providing service.
Sarah, you've got this, okay?
You can be amazing, you can turn a phrase into a weapon wardrobe. You can be the outcast, to be the backlash of somebody's lack of love. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to say what you want to say.
But they lost.
Not really. Not where it counts.
March 10th was the beginning of Ramadan, a holy month for the Muslim faith. Ramadan will last until April 9th.
Universe Live's reporter Rayhana Wilson has some insight on what this month really means to Muslims.
Ramadan is the holiest month for Islam. Muslims consider it a sacred month because they believe the angel Gabriel revealed the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad during this time.
Ramadan is a month of fasting. It lasts about 29 or 30 days, and we fast every day from just dawn until like dusk.
Salma Salah is Egyptian. She says this month is a time for her to put in greater effort to build her relationship with God and strengthen her faith.
I can do without these things, and all I really need is my faith in God, my family, and my spirituality.
Salah also says that Ramadan always comes at a time when she needs it the most.
Anything you pray for, like the angels are working overtime to like make sure that God can get it to you.
It's gonna be 9 until then.
Palestinian and Jordanian students, Tala Al-Nasser, says that she prepares for this holy month by choosing one thing she wants to work on in her life.
I think one of the main ways that I prepare for Ramadan is by fasting on Mondays and Thursdays in weeks prior to that.
Al-Nasser emphasizes the importance of progression.
So things that you do during Ramadan, it's encouraged for you to continue them, because the whole purpose of it is for you to re-centralize and also move forward.
Egyptian student Noreen Salah says she looks forward to Ramadan every year.
I love talking about like my religion, so anytime my friends ask like, oh, do you want a piece of my whatever, I'm like, nah, I'm good, I'm fasting. And they're like, oh, why? What's that? Like, you're 12, what do you mean?
Noreen says she uses this month to connect with God.
I feel like it's just the one month a year that I can really like focus, and I force myself to focus on that relationship and my spirituality.
Tarawih prayers will occur every night on the BYU campus except for Mondays. They will be open to all students. Reporting for Universe Live on the BYU campus, I'm Rayhana Wilson.
They better be part of it.
Ownership of sacred properties transfers from the Community of Christ to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in a $192 million sale. Universe Live reporter Lynette McConkey visited with 2 BYU professors to learn more about the transfer.
I hadn't envisioned something that was this all-encompassing.
Professor of Church History and Doctrine Casey Griffiths shares some of his thoughts on the recent transfer of stewardship over several sacred sites and articles of the restoration.
The Kirtland Temple is obviously the headline, right? But essentially what we acquired was almost every historic site owned by Community of Christ.
Damon Barr and his wife led Kirtland Temple tours after getting to know members of the Community of Christ. He is grateful they preserved that sacred site.
There would be, in my opinion, no Kirtland Temple without the reorganized church, aka the Community of Christ, taking such good care of it.
All of the sacred sites acquired have been available for anyone to view for years on the Joseph Smith's Papers website. Still, Griffiths says there is one item he is particularly excited about in the transfer of custody.
Oh, well, there's no surprises here. What I'm most excited about is the Joseph Smith translation. I don't think you can overestimate how much that affected our church. But the characters document is another thing that I really love too.
This transfer of stewardship has been met with a mix of emotions from members of other restoration churches.
These places have been my home for almost my entire adult life.
Griffiths and Barr encourage people to be sensitive to the loss many may be feeling.
Let's don't adopt we won, they lost. Hopefully the way that these buildings are handled is going to be a win-win for everybody and allow everybody to just use them and allow them to continue as sacred spaces.
Read more about the transfer at newsroom.churchofjesuschrist.org. For Universe Live, I'm Lynette McConkey.
Thanks, Lynette. The Kirtland Temple will remain a public historic site. After being closed for a few weeks, the temple reopened for tours on Monday.
Musical group Aspen Chorale and Orchestra holds productions of Rob Gardner's Lamb of God in preparation for the Easter season. Rob Gardner's Lamb of God is an oratorio that portrays the final week in the life of Jesus Christ. The story is told through the perspective of those who loved and walked with him. We got a reaction from an audience member after she saw the performance for the very first time.
It was beautiful, the combination of the orchestra and the big sound and the heartfelt moments from each person's perspective. It's really nice.
Aspen Chorale and Orchestra had 3 completely sold-out performances at the Covey Center for the Arts in Provo.
Young missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are receiving increased opportunities to serve. Universe Live reporter Amy Ortiz talked with a couple of former service missionaries to grasp their perspective on how broad missionary service can be. Amy?
When church members think of missionary service, they often think of riding bikes, knocking doors, and handing out Books of Mormon. However, missionary service is so much more than we might think.
Austin Proctor is a former service missionary who served in a variety of locations in Utah County. He tells us one of his most fulfilling assignments enabled him to help others process their challenges through equine-assisted therapy.
It really felt like I was serving people.
Austin says he originally planned to serve a teaching mission, but he says God led him towards a service mission during his recommendation process.
I thought and prayed about it, and then it slowly became the right one for me.
Heidi Williams is another former service missionary who used her prior love and experience with genealogy to help others further their own family history work.
God had been preparing me this whole time.
Heidi originally received the call to serve a teaching mission in McAllen, Texas. However, she returned home to focus on her mental health and decided to pursue a service mission after much prayer.
It was really hard because I was like, I want this so bad, but I know that God is telling me that this isn't what he wants for me.
Heidi tells us facing the stigma surrounding service missions was challenging. She often felt broken and incapable of serving, but she saw Christ's light shine through her weakness.
Saw him magnify the tiniest ever. Like when I felt like I was doing nothing, but I just wanted to do something. Like he knows our desires.
Heidi says her mission experience fortified her testimony of Jesus Christ and taught her receiving a mission call is less about the person receiving the call and more about where God needs them to serve. Reporting for Universe Live in Provo, I'm Amy Ortiz.
Coming up, moving clocks forward every spring has notable challenges. Hear what 2 doctors say about daylight saving time.
We'll show you why some people feel the price of regular beauty services is worth so much money.
about what has the power to change the world. It could all be said with just one word: kindness. And what if we lived with a heart of kindness? What if we loved like we've been loved? If that's all that we're remembered for, well, let that be enough. So when they stand and tell the stories of who we are and what we've done, of 1,000 things that we could leave behind us. And what if we lived with a heart of kindness? What if we loved like we've been loved? If that's all that we're remembered for, well, let that word be kindness.
The College of Family, Home, and Social Sciences held a 2-day gerontology conference with presentations from experts in psychology, neuroscience, and more. Universe Live's Andrew Osborne attended the conference and has a recap for us.
The Gerontology Conference is held at the Hinckley Center and serves as a way for faculty and students to learn about issues that people face in their later years. An orchestra made up of seniors performed prelude music and a special musical number at the conference. BYU's New Horizons Orchestra started in 2003 as an opportunity for adults new to string instruments or looking for a way to re-enter into music making. The crowd loved them. The conference started off with a session of research poster presentations created by gerontology students and faculty.
They are different, and then we move to step 2, which is differential item functioning.
Sophia Maya presented on cognitive decline in people with late onset epilepsy.
And so I feel like conferences are just a good way to kind of spread this information out to the masses who might not, read a paper or something about it.
Dr. Julianne Holt-Lundstedt gave the keynote address for the conference. She presented her extensive research on social isolation and the negative health effects that it can cause in the lives of both seniors and younger people.
What brings people meaning and purpose in life? Again, at the top of the list is social relationships.
She's worked with the World Health Organization and the U.S. Surgeon General. She told the audience to imagine a new drug that increases survival by 50%, reduces risk for cardiovascular disease by 29%, and reduces the risk of stroke by 32%.
Of course, I'm talking about social connection.
Reporting for Universe Live, I'm Andrew Osborne.
Most Americans move their clocks forward the second Sunday of March every year for daylight savings. Universe Live's Brian Barba explores the impact of this practice on the human body.
The clock in your electronic devices switched to the right time, but you might have forgotten to change your analog clocks if daylight saving caught you by surprise this past Sunday. BYU student Chris Miner experienced a confusion from the time change.
My car, I hadn't changed it yet, and so I thought I had like an hour to get to, I was meeting up with a friend, but I didn't, and my phone was like the right time, but I wasn't looking at my phone.
Circadian rhythm.
But the time change can do more than cause confusion. Sleep and pulmonary doctor Dixie Harris explained the 1 hour change is not as easy on your body's internal clock.
When you do this fast switch, because you don't phase into this, you just go one day, next day you lose an hour.
Harris says most people lose an hour of sleep. That lost hour can have ripple effects during the first week after the time change.
There's more strokes and heart attacks during that time, more accidents at work, more mistakes in the hospital setting, also more problems with driving accidents.
It's stressful.
Psychologist Dr. Rodrigo Veas-Wall says having more daylight in the evenings comes at a cost. The disruption to our routine and the reduced sunlight in the mornings can be stressful for our bodies.
We need energy and we need to feel well is often earlier in the day, but we're not getting that boost of energy that we would get.
Veas says he sees a correlation between the biological changes caused by the time change and the onset of emotional symptoms.
What happens is you get the situation, for example, where you're not producing energy, and so they're just unmotivated. And that sort of turns into depression for a lot of people.
Miner believes their bodies feel the change.
Even that small change to your rhythm of your day, your body feels it. Even if you're not super aware of it mentally, your body keeps count of it.
Reporting for Universe Live in Provo, I'm Brian Barba.
Thanks, Brian. Both doctors emphasize the importance of paying attention to your body. They stress the importance of sunlight exposure in the mornings to get an energy boost and to also keep a consistent sleep schedule.
Charm jewelry is all over social media as one of the newest fashion trends. The Gem Studio is bringing charm workshops to the local community for people to create their own personalized jewelry. Gem Studio co-owner Lauren James says the workshops rolled out a few weeks ago and quickly became fully booked up. She says the team went to work to bring these workshops to life after seeing the social media trend. There are more than 300 charms to choose from and plenty of instructors ready to help your vision come to life.
We've really loved the personalization aspect of the charms necklaces. There's something for everyone. We have a ton of different options.
James says necklaces can hold anywhere from 8 to 15 charms. People can also create bracelets or earrings. They want to give those at the workshops the opportunity to create something that reflects their identities. James says what makes it even more fun is the chance to create with friends and family and even leave with a few matching charms. James tells us they will continue opening up more time slots for these workshops to reach more of the community.
Beauty routines can be expensive and time-consuming. Universe Live reporter Zoe Cook looks into why we invest in them.
There are so many different places you can get your nails, lashes, and hair done in Utah County. Brittany Delworks is a nail tech at Polished Nail Bar in Orem, where she says a visit to the nail salon can be a needed break.
Especially for moms, it kind of gives them like an out from being a mom for an hour and a half, or as long as they're gone. It just kind of makes them feel better.
Beauty stores generated $27 billion in 2022, according to the Federal Reserve Economic Database. Marla Rojas says she spends $45 every 2 weeks on her lashes and another $50 on nails, for a total of $140 a month.
I just wake up and I feel like it saves me time. I don't have to spend hours or more minutes doing my makeup.
Marla says that in exchange for the money, she gets time for work and her 5 kids. But she also says that not everyone sees this trade as positive.
People just see it as vanity. Makeup cannot define who you are, you know? It's just how you feel. And I think we all need to respect that.
Brittany estimates that around 50 to 75% of her clients are moms. Part of why she started her business was to get out of the house a little more.
I feel like it helps me be a mom, honestly.
One of the biggest lessons Brittany has learned in the appearance-based industry of beauty is about people.
You just can't judge people from how they look, I think is the biggest thing. And like you just can't judge from their background because you just don't know like what's going on with them now.
Marla and Brittany say these beauty services aren't about vanity, but time and self-care.
Thank you, Zoe. There's even a beauty salon on BYU campus, and we'll be right back.
In a time full of war, be peace. In a time full of doubt, just believe. Yeah, there ain't that much difference between you and me. In a time full of war, be peace. In a place that needs change, make a difference. In a time full of noise, just listen. 'Cause life is but a breeze, better live it. In a place that needs a change, make a difference. In a world full of hate, be a light. Oh, when you do somebody wrong, make it right, just make it right. Don't hide in the dark, you were born to shine. In a world full of hate, be a light.
BYUSA hosts its very own Battle of the Bands here on campus, an event that was revived after a 10-year hiatus.
Universe Live reporter Elise Clark shows us how music lovers and performers alike came together at this event.
BYUSA transformed the Wilkinson Center Ballroom to a concert venue Saturday night, with the return of BYU's Battle of the Bands. 11 bands performed 2 songs each. Each band typically played one popular song and one original song they had written.
You don't need no education.
Hundreds of BYU students cheered and danced, causing the floor in the ballroom to shake under their feet. Once all the bands got a chance to perform, everyone got out their phones and used a QR code to vote for their top 3 favorite bands. BYU student Moses Hewish thought the best band of the night was called Hardly Know Her, a band made up of all women.
They were amazing, they were perfect, and they were just the best.
In third place was the band Recently Decent. Second place was Viridian. first place was the all-girl band Hardly Know Her. One of the lead singers of Hardly Know Her, Sabrina Fair, and her bandmates say they were thrilled to hear they won.
Our goal was to have fun, and we did that, and so it's fun to hear that the audience also had a good time.
Happy Women's Month.
To keep up with BYUSA events and the next Battle of the Bands, go to the website slccenter.byu.edu. Reporting from Universe Live in Provo, I'm Elise Clark.
Thanks, Elise. The Museum of Peoples and Cultures is hosting a series of events, most recently a Black Light Game Night. What is a Black Light Game Night exactly? Universe Live's Mackenzie Beckstead has a look.
The museum has turned the lights off and the black lights on to illuminate the Tron-themed neon decorations for a retro 80s arcade theme. The games here tonight are Petris, a life-size Tetris game next to the Petra exhibit. Paleopac, a Pac-Man-style game with hunters and gatherers instead of Pac-Man and ghosts. And Laser Truck, a laser obstacle course.
Today, of course, is Tron themed, so we turned the museum into an arcade, and it's been so much fun.
Participants stacked blocks, dodged lasers, and chased each other through mazes, all in the near dark with only black lights to highlight their neon games and glow stick bracelets and necklaces.
Everything we do with events, we want to try and tie back to the museum. Especially since we are an anthropology museum. We talk about culture, talk about community.
The goal is to help participants build relationships through teamwork, competition, and fun.
Each of our events this year, we chose like a specific trait that we wanted to help people cultivate, and so for this one, it was community.
The museum employees say they hope the events also raise awareness about the Museum of Peoples and Cultures.
And the people there put a lot of work into museums.
The next event the museum will be participating in is BYU's yearly Night at the Museums, where those who visit all of BYU's museums in one night can earn a prize for solving riddles.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Such a creative activity at the museum.
A collection of more than 300 art pieces by various students across Utah is on display at the 52nd Annual Utah All-State High School Art Show. You can view the exhibition at the Springville Museum of Art. It showcases and awards the tremendous talent, creativity, and efforts of Utah's young artists. The highest awarded pieces will go on a traveling exhibition.
So these artworks will be taken to different schools around the state of Utah over the course of the next year, usually to schools or places that don't have as easy access to Springville or to Utah Valley and might not be able to see these artworks otherwise.
In addition, one piece of art will be selected from each Utah congressional district to hang at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. at the National Show.
Thanks for joining us today for Universe Live. For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu.
Have a great day.